What's up, everybody? Adam here, Blacktop Smack Talk. We are back. Happy New Year. Damn, it's been a minute since we did our last video interview. We've done podcasts, but we have not done a video interview for a while. So I'm excited today. This is probably gonna be my all-time favorite with some of my least favorite people, but my all-time favorite interview. Thank you so much for your guys' support. We're coming to you live from the greatest high school in the state of Washington, maybe in the country, maybe in the world. Bishop Blanchett High School.
I thought you were going to say Bishop Gorman.
Bishop Blanchett High School. Shout out to my guy Firsov who got us the plug in here. I'm an alumni. Visualize, who's on the camera today.
Alumni.
He's an alumni also. Thank you. It's not the house that I built, but we got, guys, we got legends like Zach Samard doing that, Taylor Olson, the Reinhardt brothers, Derek Dean. Those guys have helped make this gym. I was more of a guy sitting on the sideline, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, I got my brothers here. You guys have heard them on the pod. You guys have maybe seen them on one or two videos, but now is a chance you guys get to know my guys. So we got Charlie, the one who always does the introduction on our pods, our host, Charlie. What's up, brother? Appreciate it. And we got the man himself, the millionaire, Sano.
I thought you were going to say Bruce.
Bruce, unfortunately, is in California, and we want him to stay there.
Fortunately.
Yeah,
Fortunately. And we're going to leave him there, and we're just not going to talk about it. And that'll make everything go better.
Sorry I brought him up.
It's all good. But, man, this is exciting. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good. It's been a while since I've been in this gym. I had some incredible JV performances in here. I remember a big comeback, taking a couple charges, leading Nathan Hale Raiders to a victory.
Number 31?
A couple charges?
Oh, well, I had some buckets, but that was a big charge to it. It might have been on Adam or something.
Was that number 31?
I can't, I don't remember.
Wait, did you guys play
Just
against
another guy.
No, he was always ahead of me. I was always so bad.
Just another guy, man.
Well, yeah, man. I'm excited. We were able to finally, get in here. It's the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, it's so hard with 4 guys and a cameraman. So essentially 5 guys to get us all on the same page. We got a millionaire. We have a world traveler. We have a father, and it's just we're all. And Pat is another almost millionaire. So it's like, man, we're all over the place. So. Finally, we got a Saturday. Charlie's trying to rush us because he has to get to the UW game, and we'll get into UW later. But so that's why it's been so long for us to kind of get on the interview tip. But so starting off, man, basketball obviously is our love. I mean, you guys love football, baseball, all that too. But basketball is kind of what brought us all together. What was it as a kid growing up that made you fall in love with the game?
I mean, the basketball culture in Seattle, having the Sonics here was huge. That was catalyst. And us falling in love. I mean, but going back to elementary school, I remember just playing bump on the playground. Yeah. And bump was like competitive enough. It was more competitive than baseball, football, or anything else. It was like you were constantly playing. And just idolizing Gary Payton. And then when my horizons broadened, Penny Hardaway.
Right.
Penny Hardaway was like my favorite athlete. So and then the Sonics and the Magic, and then just the way they play, just kind of, made you fall in love with the game. And I remember watching and going to games against the Jazz where the whole crowd was chanting Karl Malone's free throws.
Yeah.
Counting to 10 seconds. Yeah. They're counting to 13 seconds. Like those are the type of things that are like, man, basketball's crazy, man. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I was going to say the Sonics too, watching the Sonics growing up. Kemp, Peyton, when they got those two. Also, I was a really tall kid. So I thought I was going to be like 6'7", 6'8", when I was like,
Could you imagine?
7, 8 years old. And we had the short rims. We had John Rogers was the score right behind my house.
Oh, yeah.
We had the short rims. So we'd always go up there and play and like dunk on each other and stuff. And so
a lot of dunks on Charlie.
Charlie wasn't
I didn't go
up
to
there
John
that
Rogers
much.
like
Yeah.
that.
He wasn't up there that much. But
it would have
local kid. So yeah,
Would
of
have
course.
been.
Of course. Charlie was a small kid.
I didn't want to step in there, step in the ring.
Man, basketball, yeah, man. I think for me it's like Sean Kemp. When they're at the Coliseum, seeing him. I think it was seeing it on TV, him dunk on Alton Lister, where he, dunked on him and then pointed at him, and then he dunked on Chris Gatling and then dapped him up.
Yeah.
I think that was like my first like memory of it. And then '92 was the Dream Team. I remember I wanted to be Jordan, I wanted to be Pippen,
I wanted to be Larry Bird.
Yeah, bro. Like, and then I'd go outside after I'd watch like the games, like in the Olympics, and then I'd just go play. And I think that's what started doing it for me. Like I grew up playing, like in kindergarten I played soccer, and I played soccer all through eighth grade, and then but basketball got me hooked. '92, that was it, man. But so what's the early childhood memory that you guys have playing basketball? So it could be from when you guys first started playing up until childhood, up to middle school, I guess you could say. So what's something that really stands out in your mind for you?
Like a good basketball memory, like in a game, or just like
anything.
playing?
Anything. You could be playing and you dunked on Alex, or something like that, or you and Ja had one-on-one battles or something like that.
Yeah, we did. It was me and Ja in 5th grade. Had a lot of bump battles. It was always me and him. You'd have like 10 kids. We played that all the time because everyone could play. You can have the boys play, the girls play, all different levels. Anyone could win a game of bump, really.
Right.
And that's how I would win. But I was gonna say one of the first memories I have of basketball. My dad had a little hoop in not even the driveway, like a patio, and it was probably like 3 feet tall or something, like really small for little kids. And I don't know what happened, but I was in the back with Tyler, Psycho T, and I hit my head on the rim, right? Not like because I could jump, but just it did, and blood was pouring out of the top of my head. That's like my first basketball memory.
That's your first.
That's literally.
I guess that was a sign of things to
as a
come,
little
huh?
kid, I can literally remember playing ball.
How old were you?
Probably 6 or 7. I can't remember like making shots at that age, but I remember that.
Outside
instant.
your house now?
Yeah, it was in the back, in the alley.
Oh, yeah.
Or in the alley, in the patio. And I just remember hitting, and I just remember it was crazy. I was like, wow, playing with Psycho T, man, that's what happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other memory I have is actually against another, like in a game, is actually, it ended up happening to being against Bruce, other member of the podcast. And we didn't know each other then. I was probably in 6th grade or so. And playing for Ravenna Eckstein, he was playing for
Washington.
Ballard or one of those, not Ballard, whatever, one of the community centers out there.
Okay.
And Loyal Heights, maybe?
Yeah, okay.
And my team was up by 1. I inbounded the ball under our hoop, and the guy I inbounded it to took it to the other side and made a layup for the other team at the buzzer. And we lost. And I talked about that in high school, and Bruce was like, I was on that team. I remember that dude. And like my dad was on the sideline, and he almost ran on the court. He was like, dude, go the other way. Go the other way.
To the other team?
Yeah. No, it was to my teammate, because he took off that way.
No, but he was yelling at the other guy. Yeah.
And he went and scored a bucket, and there was like a couple seconds left.
Right.
Yeah, we lost.
Because of that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I was like, that's Ravenna Eckstein, man. You had guys that didn't really know what was going on.
That is a standout memory. For me, this is kind of random, but I think like 6, 7 years old. Remember, you guys ever play short shots? Mm-mm. You guys didn't? So it's when like, you weren't old enough, like you couldn't shoot the ball up to a 10-foot rim, so we had like 7-foot rims.
Okay.
You played full court like other kids.
Oh yeah. They still do that now. Yeah.
So my first like real memory was actually following the short shots year. Was like my coach was going to see if we could play on 10-foot rims the next year. He was like, you can make a 3-pointer on a real rim, you can do that. So he handed me the ball. He's like, you got 5 shots. He's like, if you can do it, I'll let you shoot 3s.
In front of all the kids?
Yeah, like everybody stepped up, and I was the only one on the whole team that made it.
Oh.
I was like, oh, I'm good. I can do it. Then the next year, I don't think I made 1 3-pointer.
Wow.
It was kind of lucky. And then the second thing was so I think we were like 11, 12 years old. That we went to not the '92, but the '94 Team USA in Toronto.
Yeah.
They did the World Basketball. My mom actually took me and my brother to Toronto. We got to go watch.
Damn.
So we got to see like Sean Kemp was on the team.
Like Reggie Miller,
Shaq, all those guys. And we saw like not only Team USA, but we got to see like Australia versus Serbia, or, all these other teams that were playing too. So I think for me and Shaddy, my brother, that was like a big thing because we were like, damn, basketball's like really all over the world. So it's kind of something that like stuck with both of us, I think, and we kind of took it from there. And it's like, man, started following it more hardcore from there on.
Right.
I want to add, thinking about other memories, I remember as probably like 7 or 8 years old going to Seafirst Jam and Hoops Camp with Jim Marsh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I remember those. But I didn't really take hoop
At Nathan
serious
Hill.
yet. Yeah.
At Nathan Hill. Yeah.
Meadowbrook, I thought it was like, that's just what I knew it as.
We went to the one with Xavier McDaniel.
Yeah.
I'm X-Man, I think Chef.
I have those
Yep.
those cartoon cards. Remember those cartoon cards?
Yeah,
I still have some at my house.
Remember Walton was that one I went to?
Bill Walton?
Yeah, I got a picture with Bill Walton.
Really?
Nate McMillan was. I went to one with Nate McMillan.
remember the
think
Nate McMillan
Derek,
one.
Derek McKee there.
Oh.
I remember just being super nervous, like seeing a professional athlete for the first time, and just like.
I met Derek McKee at Magnolia Hi-Fi. I was like, I remember that. Yeah, he's in Irvin Johnson.
Yep.
And they signed my hat.
Oh,
So
wow.
Irvin Johnson came to, were you at Eckstein when he came?
I don't remember that, no.
So it was Terry Thompson.
Oh, TT, yeah.
And then he picked one guy out of the students to play one-on-one with him. And Terry hit a jumper on him.
Oh.
And the whole everybody at the school was like, oh, he scored on an NBA guy. You know, obviously he wasn't playing hard, but something else that jumps out.
My thing's a little different. Catholic school, private school, so we only had 30 kids in the class, 27 kids, and just my cousin was in school with me, and we just hooped every day, like soccer. We did all sports, but like basketball was the thing. And just we had CYO, and we just growing up playing against the same kids every year, and then battling, and then up until we got to 8th grade. And it's like, all right, playoffs. No, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, it's like playoffs. And you really see who's who.
You guys played against the same kids pretty much every year?
For a lot of the teams, because I remember playing against some of my guys from high school, playing them when I was like 4th and 5th grade. Played sports versus, guys who competed. I competed against in high school. And it's just one of those things, just growing up playing against those guys. And then we'd see them all the time at dances and stuff like that. And we'd kind of just chop it up. That's how basketball kind of just brought me close to a lot of people. We would, because at first I would hate them, because when I was a kid, I was like, man, I don't really care about anybody else. I'm better, in my mind, I thought I was better than these guys, so I wasn't really rocking with anyone else. But after a while, you get to know people, and it was cool. It was cool just growing up and just playing against these guys, and I played with the same 7 to 8 people from 4th grade to 8th grade, during the season. And then I played like, select and stuff like that, and then basketball camps. So those are like really memories that kind of stood out for me. And then, yeah.
I mean, the more we talk about it, the more like things keep like popping in my head. There's like, you mentioned camps. Like I went to like Cougar Cage Camp in Pullman for a couple days. We won the championship over there. Like random stuff like that. I went over there with, you guys remember Gavin, the dude Gavin? So it was him. He was younger, he was taller kid. But my mom drove us over there. I didn't want to go. I was like, I don't want to.
This is probably middle school then?
Yeah, I think it was like 6th grade maybe, 6th or 7th grade. But yeah, just another one that just randomly popped in my head.
So high school's kind of notable because we kind of know some of the, we all, Metro kids, we played against some really good talent. Metro was good, like really legit when we were in high school. But like growing up, let's say from like 5th to 8th grade, who were some guys, some notable players that people would know, or some local people would know that are really notable?
Man. So growing up, you mean not high school, so.
Yeah, not high school.
that.
Yeah, before that.
I'd say one of the first high school players, I didn't go to a lot of high school games before high school really, and it was Michael Johnson.
No, you played against him?
Oh, played against him?
Yeah.
You said just like watching?
No, played against.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I was in 7th grade or 8th grade, I played against Nate at Rainier Community Center. I was like, I sold him a WWJD bracelet. I was like, this guy is crazy athletic, super fast, just out of this world. Played against Ray Butler. Ray was a machine back in 7th grade. He talked like none other.
He was talking crap?
Oh, just chirping the whole time. Still like he does to this day whenever we hoop with him. But yeah, those are some guys that really just, Eric Bond back in the day, he was so filthy. Villa Academy, he was so nice.
I played with him in the summer league, but that was in high school. I played with like Lorenzo. He was on my record.
You played for
I played for Seattle Style, so I was
like
trying
the
to
only
think.
white guy in the squad?
No, we had a couple. But yeah, for Seattle Style, so I played with Lorenzo Durant. Obviously, we all know Zoe, but
Metro leading scorer.
yeah. So he was on my Meadowbrook team. And
Did he kill?
Yeah, oh,
If it was just like regular Meadowbrook.
Yeah, he was, best player on the court.
Oh.
But yeah, for Seattle Style, I'm trying to think. We played against. I'm slipping on his name. Tall, like 6'11" white guy.
From here?
From Utah.
Oh.
His team was the Utah Heat. We played against him in Reno. but I'm slipping on his name. For some reason, I think he was in the NBA for a little bit. I didn't play in this game, but I was on the bench. They played against a team from Alaska that had Carlos Boozer.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, wow.
Teo Johnson, we played against Teo Johnson. He played for CAYA.
Man, that was Mariner, right?
Yep,
Mariner and Stanford.
Yep. He played for the Raiders football.
And the Raiders, yeah.
He played for CAYA, which was like the other other AAU team at the time, like the local team at the time. We played him a couple times at the Shorewood. I'm trying to think of like other guys we played against.
Well, so, because when you were at X9, my year was when they had the first official X9 team. But you guys had a little team before us.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So my year was the first one we had like sold out gyms.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember
sold out gyms?
Yeah,
for middle school
X9 games were cracking.
Really?
They were popping.
I didn't
we
even
were
know
good.
this.
We were good. And it was
when you were in sixth grade?
No, 8th grade.
Oh, 8th grade.
Yeah, because there was teams before, but it wasn't as official.
Oh, okay.
You know, but then I remember we played against South Shore, and they had DeMar Basie, who was like ranked in the nation, Terry Berry, and the Twins, like in 6th grade. And I was like, and we lost it then. We only lost to McClure and South Shore.
Didn't Aaron Brooks play on the team?
I was going to say,
Aaron Brooks played on the team, but he was a 6th grader, and then he also played for the Click.
Oh, okay.
And he was so small at the time, 6th grade to 8th grade, he was so like tiny, but he was the fastest guy on the team. He didn't play a lot. So then he went, he was the best player on the Click.
Yeah.
Or one of, his older brother too, but so he kind of left the team throughout the year. So, made it easier for me,
Yeah.
But yeah.
NBA player was your backup.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to say.
Yeah.
We need to get Aaron Brooks on the pod on the pod and see if he remembers that.
I mean, I'm sure he remembers being. He probably played on the team the next 2 years and killed.
At
Probably.
X9, yeah, that's crazy.
But it was a fun. And the only team we lost to was, McClure and South Shore.
You guys lost.
And the South Shore was like a scrimmage game actually.
So that was the year. So we had a team, but it wasn't like that organized.
Yeah.
And I remember playing a couple games, but we played against Assumption, a private school down by UW, and we were up by like 50 at halftime. Another team left, and they called the game.
Yeah, Assumption.
And I think that was the last game that we ever played because they were like, "You guys are too good." Whatever league they had us in, like.
Jeez.
But we had guys like I'm trying to think of who was on the team.
We had Roy Smiley.
Roy Smiley was on the team.
Black, shout out to Black.
Actually, he actually went to John Rogers for a year, 5th grade, and he was on my Seattle style team. I probably should have mentioned.
Dang, you guys grew up together.
Do you guys remember Olawale?
Yeah, he's a St. Matt's guy.
Yeah. He was at John Rogers for a couple years. Before that,
He didn't go to X9, did he?
No, he went to St. Matt's.
Yeah, he didn't go to X9.
Like 7th and 8th grade. Because I remember we hooped at recess together.
He's a good guy. He's over in the Maldives right now.
Yeah, he is.
Probably AJ was on your X9 team. Aaron Brooks'
Yeah,
brother.
I think AJ played.
Albertus.
I remember AJ was good. He played for Seattle U eventually, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, your guys' X9 team was pretty good if it was together.
I mean, it wasn't very organized.
Yeah.
I feel like we had new people all the
Ours
time.
was like, we had official tryouts.
Yeah, so we didn't have all that.
They just probably knew who the best players were.
Yeah.
They had official tryouts, and it was like, they posted it on the wall, I remember that, and during like 5th or 6th period, and that was cracking.
I wish we had a more organized. I know.
And like I said, we played NARMS, we played all those schools, Assumption, Summit, and we would kill them. Whitman, we played Sam Knob, and we smoked all of them except for McClure and South Shore.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't play Washington though. That would have Will Conroy and PJ.
Would he would have been at the same time?
Yeah, because we played Will when I was on C team at Hale. Will was on varsity at Beach, but when we played Beach, he played C team.
I remember going to that C team
And
game.
him and PJ were homies,
Yeah, I remember going to that C team game and seeing him
and he had like 35. PJ had like 30 something.
in the little gym.
Bruce has a story about that game because Coach put Bruce on Will and he couldn't guard him. And then he was like, you need to play harder. Bruce was like, I'm going as fast as I can. I'm not faster than him.
What coach?
Keith. And Keith was like, speed doesn't matter in defense. It's like, what? Like, I understand it doesn't matter everything, but you can't just put the slowest guy on the fastest.
Yeah, that doesn't
As a varsity, Will was like a grown man.
So this is kind of fast forward to, I guess you could say your prime. So we're gonna give each other a little test here. So how would you describe each other's game in your prime. So Sano, you get Charlie, Charlie, you get me, and then I'll get Sano. So how would you describe it in your prime? Like we've seen each other from the time pretty much like right out of high school. You know,
Yeah, men's league is my prime.
league, so whatever.
High
So
school
how would you
wasn't.
describe it?
I wouldn't say
Because a lot of people that do podcasts and whatever basketball stuff, they don't hoop. Like we actually like played and we played against some really good players, talent. So all right, so Charlie, you got
You.
no Sano. Let's go Sano first. You got Charlie.
I'm going Charlie.
Yeah.
This is unfair.
I did it on
This
purpose.
is stained.
I did it on purpose too.
Man, the first thing that comes to my mind is mediocre. No, Charlie.
Sounds about right.
Charlie. I mean, it depends on what we consider your prime. Like, if we're talking high school,
No, I wouldn't say high school
I would say
because
like men's league.
'cause a lot of the-
seriously men's league probably.
yeah,
Like,
because I mean
You probably never played with me in PBA. Oh, you played time I shoot, but not in some of the other leagues.
But we played like probably. I guess you could primarily say men's league because that's when our like,
Probably when I was on Supreme Cuts.
yeah, I mean, time I shoot. I'll probably go that like around that era,
Yeah.
like time I shoot days. Charlie was always kind of like do it all, you know. Like he could kind of shoot a little bit, he could kind of dribble a little bit, he could kind of slash a little bit.
not post up.
He never
nothing-
had a
nothing in the
post game.
post.
No, never had a
He
post
didn't
game.
like posting up.
Nothing in the post.
Everything was face onto the basket. No back to the basket game.
And nothing in the high post versus his zone. He
No.
was not a
I
fan.
did it on Supremes, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple like the men's league game a few years ago where he thought the score was wrong. He ended up fouling the dude.
Oh,
We were
that's the
tied.
story we bring up.
The game was tied with like 5 seconds left. I think we had just tied the game, and then Charlie goes in and fouls the guy, thinking that we're still down. So the guy hits some free throws, and we end up losing.
I honestly don't remember if I heard that story.
Oh, you heard it.
You remember the name? We used to have a name in the chat,
Yeah.
CTCA.
I got subbed in on that. Someone came out.
Oh, did you?
It was like, yeah.
I don't remember who came
so I was
out.
just like,
The Charlie the Choke Artist, CTCA.
Oh, okay.
So
That's where that came
that's
from.
my game is described.
Wow.
No, but I mean, he's like I said, he's kind of like a do-it-all. You know, he can do a little bit of everything.
As Travis would call you, like a Dunleavy.
Yeah.
It's a good player
No,
comparison.
no specialty.
Good player comparison.
Enough to stay on the court.
All right, since we're talking about these guys today, it's primarily about them. You guys really don't need to know about me, man. Sano, when I first started playing with him, man, he's kind of like a smaller, like Corver, Reddick type player, just a burner, lefty. And when he was in CrossFit shape too,
That was probably my prime.
he was good. Sano was good. I mean, he could shoot. I've seen games where I kept giving him the ball, and it was like 6, 7 threes later, and boom. So one of the better shooters that I've ever had the chance to play with. But
Those
just
passes.
Ru-
There's those crisp
for
passes.
because
you
it
gave.
wasn't Charlie's passes, it was my passes.
No dribble, just shoot.
And really fundamentally sound, great help defender. If you got blown by, he always knew where the help was. Just did everything. This is why we always talk in our little group chat about the past, in like high school and stuff, because the way I see these guys now is like, how could they have not played back then or played much back then? So that's a different story
That's
for a different day.
That's a loaded story right
Yeah,
there.
but Sano, man, he's next shootout we have Sano. If he's in shape and ready to go, he might enter. He could win it.
You gotta give me like a year's advance notice so I can get
Yeah.
in shape.
I think about the PBL days, and the first thing I would say is clutch. I remember those intense games in the playoffs and for championships. First couple of years I was on the PBL squad with you, and you coming down, not even thinking about passing to someone, is pulling a 3 for game against Pink Panthers. And a lot of games were, I think that there was a game you had like 36 or something like that.
It was actually 40 plus.
Was it?
Whatever year.
But it was, mainly just, picking. So later it was picking the pick and roll guy. Real good at the pick and roll, going off the screen. Whether it was pick and pop or pick and roll, really good at that. But the younger days was more of a outside threat scorer off the bounce, when the game was on the line. I remember we had a lot of guys that thought they could score on our squad.
We had a lot of gunners.
And you would let them guys do their thing throughout the game. And then when it was game time, he made sure, because I was the big guy, so I'd always inbound the ball.
It was the power forward in the center.
Did you guys? Oh, in the PBO.
Oh,
Yeah.
because we were like in the 6 foot and under division.
Yeah. So he would make sure that he would get the inbounds. You know, the other guys wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Like in the end of the game, and he'd bring it up, and he kind of had that look off and just pull up and whap. Yeah.
Damn, I appreciate that. You know, your boy's clutch. Well, back in the day, now I'm past first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Pat knows, he knows. All right, so describing us, so you guys both longtime Seattle guys, big Husky fans, all of us big Husky fans. You know, we talk about UW all the time. You made the pod, you made this interview super early so you could go to the game later, which is fine. The supreme UW optimist, as Sano like to call you, with a little snark behind that. So if you had to think in your guys' time of watching UW from back then till now, and I think I asked you guys this question the other day, and you kind of gave me a bunch of shit for some of my answers. Who's your top 5 or your all-time UW starting 5? So I'll let you guys think about that because I know you guys might need some time to think.
So the best, right? Not our favorite, kind of. Who we think the best all-time starting 5 is.
We're by position. We're not positionless. So while you guys think about it, I went Nate. You know, I think he was one of the players that helped restore the program and kind of put us back on the map. All right, Nate. Who else did I have? I had obviously B-Roy, the legend.
See, it starts with Brandon first.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I think Nate's, what was that, against Oregon State? The Oregon State game, and then the dunk at NC State. I think that kind of catapulted. But B was always that guy, just smooth, under the radar, and then once he got his time. So B, I had Matisse Thybulle as my 3. I had Brockman, who I love John Brockman, one of the best rebounders I ever seen. And I went McCullough. Big Todd McCullough, one of the first guys, him and my guy Donald Watts. I remember watching them when I was a kid. So that's my all-time UW starting 5.
Pinball. Didn't he do something with? He was big into pinball randomly. McCullough.
Oh yeah, he was.
Did he have like a pinball collection or something?
Pinball and Slurpees.
Is that what it was?
That's his name.
Huh.
So let's go Santa, because I know Chuck is the ultimate UW guy. So Santa, who you got?
My list is kind of similar to yours. I was going back and forth between
IT and Nate?
Yep, IT and Nate. I went IT just because,
Can't go wrong
with them.
That
Plus,
shot against
that
North Carolina. Or not
the
North
shot against
Carolina. Arizona.
Yeah.
Weren't you there? You were at that game, right? Yeah.
Cold-blooded.
Yep. That's one of the all-time shots.
That was right. That was right. I won the free gas.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that
right.
was the same tournament.
That's right.
As the 2 guard, man.
See, I was thinking, because when Nate was there, Will was like the 1, and Nate kind of
Yeah,
off
I was kind of thinking that.
I want to go.
Oh, and then
I want to go Nate. I want to go IT and Nate. D-Roy.
Yeah,
I'd probably do that. Obviously Brandon Roy. Yeah, let's put Nate at the 2. But I also want to put Thybulle in there.
See, Matisse was
That's where it gets hard. Ridiculous
breed.
as a defensive player. He's probably the best defensive player we've ever seen.
Still like that. He's still like that in the league right now. He just had like 4 blocks yesterday.
Yep. So let's go. I'll go IT. Let's put Thybulle at the 2. Or Brandon Roy. I was going to put Brandon Roy at the 3. Those guys can interchange. I also went Brockman at the 4.
Love Brockman.
My number 5, the 5 guy, the center guy, hasn't even finished his full season yet. I'm gonna go Isaiah Stewart.
Hey, that's fair.
I think he's probably the best big man we've seen in our time at UW. There's a lot of competition there with guys, your guys, Spencer Hawes, you said, McCullough.
Yeah.
Joe Wolfinger. Oh man.
Noah Dickerson had a pretty good career.
Guys like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go Stewart.
Brian Manning.
He was good.
His numbers are good.
Yeah.
He never really had. He had some down games, but his numbers never really had a down year.
Even guys like Jamal Williams could score.
Yeah. Okay, Chuck.
I probably would go.
Well, I'm sorry. We could do a whole UW pod and Charlie could talk for the whole hour, hour and a half. So I'm trying to cut him, give him like a couple minutes, because knowing him, he'd probably go into, what their favorite restaurant is. He would go all in depth with these guys. So I'm gonna keep Chuck's UW lineup to a minimum right now. So
that's tough. I really want to put C.J. Wilcox in there, but it's hard to fit him in. But I think we looked it up. He's the all-time second leading scorer in UW history.
Is that Andrews?
Andrews.
Or maybe Andrews. Or maybe C.J. I think they were close. I think C.J. was maybe third. I think C.J. was.
Welp,
C.J.
right?
was second.
Welp is first.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
C.J. was second when he left, and then Andrews played a year or two after him. And both of those guys were redshirts. They redshirted their true freshmen.
That's right.
They were 5-year guys. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to put C.J. in over IT or Nate. Because like you said, Nate. I remember that Oregon State game at Oregon State when they won, and then they ended up winning a bunch of games in a row. And I think up to that point they were like 2-5,
Yeah,
1-5 in conference.
That was a game that kind of started off that whole
And
run.
they came back in town. I remember I was at UW at the time, and I was at a party in Lake City, with some other UW football players I knew, and they were all there at that party. And I remember the whole hoop squad was out on this deck, and they were having like a meeting. And I was like, oh man, but you didn't really, UW basketball, you didn't really take it as serious, right? But they had this. I remember it was just them on the patio. And then after that, bro, they won like all those games in a row. And then ended up being Stanford and won in the nation.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
and that was
2004, I think I Childress.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it's like you could even argue Will as just a true Husky, right? But I'd probably go Nate and IT. I don't know.
Okay.
Like CJ's a Husky too, but probably Nate and IT, B. Roy, and Hakeem Rollins at the 4. No, not Hakeem Rollins, but he was nice.
He's solid off the bench.
Yeah, and you have to go Brockman. Anyone that turns down Coach K in his living room, Coach K comes out to Snohomish, Washington, you turn him down to go UW,
crazy.
and you give us 4 years.
Yeah. And that's the type of cat that puts everything out there, diving, hella physical, diving
Right.
for loose balls, going in the crowd.
McDonald's
all the dirty
All-American.
work, man.
McDonald's All-American.
So who's your 5?
It'd probably be almost the same as you, I guess.
Big McCullough?
I thought about maybe Patrick Femerly, Thalo Green, but
Throwing out names.
Chris Walcott?
yeah. But yeah, you got to go, T-Mac, man.
Yeah.
The UW T-Mac, because, you could go Isaiah Stewart. Spencer Haas only gave us 1 year, so it's hard to put him in there. Brian Manning gave us
Stewart's
4.
only going to give us 1 year.
Yeah, but it's going to be a, celebrated year.
Hopefully.
But yeah, you probably got to go. He took us to the Sweet 16, right? Todd McCullough, and he had an NBA career. Him and D. Watson, my guy, Deion Luton.
Yeah.
With the Jordan tattoo.
Your top 5 all-time favorite NBA players. Your 5 all-time favorite NBA players.
I think there's 2 that's automatic. For me, Kemp and Payton is automatic, right?
That could just count as 1.
Right.
Yeah.
That could just count as 1. Because that's what I
Duo.
was going to go with.
It's like Stockton Malone. That's just one.
You're from Utah, you're from Stockton Malone.
They're not on my list, but
right.
that's just one. This is one
guy.
unit.
One unit. Man, all time, that's tough. We got no one of Charlie's,
LeBron's up there.
of course.
LeBron,
Penny.
Jordan, Penny, GP Kemp.
Yeah. See, I want to put Jordan in there, but I did not root for Jordan when he was in the league. I started to I loved him, appreciated him after he left.
That's what you do with LeBron?
No.
I think so.
The reason I didn't root for Jordan was because he always stood in the way of
Seattle.
going back from 96.
half the time the first round stood in our damn way.
Well, yeah, that's true too. Nuggets. Can't say like Matumbo or anybody like that.
Then we lost to the Lakers in like the second round.
The next year, we lost to the Lakers.
Man, I just have to put him in my top 5. But I really am a big fan of Klay Thompson right now.
Oh yeah.
Even though he's out, but
Your all-time favorite?
that's what I'm saying. I'm deciding whether to put him in my top 5. I'd probably go randomly Kendall Gill. I love watching Kendall Gill.
I loved his shoe game.
Oh yeah,
was
Sonic
big on the
10s,
Jays.
baby.
Yeah. Man, going back to the 90s. Let's see. Am I missing anybody?
I like, Bob Sura, Mark Price. Jay Will.
I'm trying to think of random guys that like not everybody would say, you know, not like Jordan or like
Joe Wolf.
LeBron, Joe Wolf, Rich King, Pete Chilcutt.
Yeah.
Man.
Adam,
I said my 4.
tell me some of yours.
Man, I think mine is Jordan. Obviously, I love Jordan. Like I said, childhood memory, 92.
I was going to say kind of Jordan.
92, that's where it kind of started for me. You know, Kemp and Peyton did it for me. And then you guys obviously know, I talk about my guys all the time. Bibby, love Bibby. Shit, D. Will, obviously.
Did Jason Kidd make yours?
He's like on the back burner.
Yeah.
D.
Paul
Will's
George.
up there, Paul George. I mean, but shit, I can't overlook. B. Roy's always been one of my favorites. You know, same year, 2000, we graduated, same year, 2002. I was telling guys in high school that he would always be the best player from our year, and he would make the league and stuff like that. And man, I always loved his game. Just so smooth, just real, just there wasn't a weakness. You know, even Kobe said it. There wasn't a weakness in his game. So I really love B. Roy's game. So you know, and obviously you guys know I love guys now like Paul George and stuff. So yeah, so you got.
Yeah, I mean Curry.
Well, I mean,
like,
he's just
there's-
gonna name all the Warriors.
Curry's one of my favorites to watch of all time too.
Yeah,
But see, the thing is about Curry is, and even Pat was on this tip too, is we watched Curry before he became like big time.
In college.
We was watching him at Davidson, like
Yeah.
all of us. I remember we were talking about it at work. It's like, yo, this guy, this little light skin who's hella small, he has a burner, like he can shoot. And, you know, we was on it. You meet Tech.
I remember watching games. We had parties at the house.
Yeah,
Curry parties, and then I had in college I had Jimmer parties.
yeah, I remember the
See,
Jimmer
that's-
party.
Jimmer's games were nuts though.
He was crazy to watch.
They both pulled
College.
from anywhere.
Yeah,
Pat has a little character shirt of
Steph.
Steph when he first got to the league.
Yeah.
And then that's how I know he was a real Curry rider, not once he started having fame. So that's, you know,
I have to say one of the other guys. If I said 4. I said, you know, G.P. Kemp, and Jordan, Penny, LeBron, and then I really liked Iverson. You know,
oh yeah, culture
and
changer.
Ray for Alston. You know,
Yeah.
and when I first saw the And One tapes, Skip to Malou. So Rafer and Iverson both. You know,
yeah. I was a big, I mean, another local guy. I was a big Detlef fan.
Oh
Really?
yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
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 I liked him when he was in Indiana. Oh,
Yeah.
you like Reggie, right?
Yeah,
Reggie
you know,
Miller.
and I got to give a shout out to Jamal, man.
Oh yeah, Jamal.
Jamal was one of the first. I remember a buddy had league pass, and I used to go over to his house and watch Jamal, like in early, like 02, when he was on the Bulls.
They had League Pass back then?
Yeah,
Man, I didn't even know they had it.
yeah, but Jay Raddick had it.
Jay Raddick.
Yeah, but watching Jamal, like, oh, is he gonna play? You know, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
So
I
who's
mean, there's a lot of guys, like I like Lillard a lot right now too.
Okay, that's going to tie into my next question. Who are a couple names in the league right now that you know that you like watching? Charlie said LeBron, and that's all he really said. So
Shout out to LeBron 5 times.
Good.
There's a lot of guys right now that I
yeah,
like
there's
to
a
watch.
lot. I mean, guys that I like, some people may not like them as people. Like
Yeah.
guys like I love Kyrie. Love Kyrie. His game is so filthy to me. What he does off the court, I don't really care about. Like, but him as a player.
So you're just talking like game. You just like watching their game.
Oh yeah. What 5 players I actually like love watching? Like Kyrie's up there. KD is
KD, I was
just
just gonna say.
unreal.
And you go back to, I mean, not to keep going back to the Warriors, man, but Curry and Thompson are both, to me, they're like 2 of the funnest guys to
They
watch
changed the
play.
game.
Yeah. Thompson, even when he doesn't have the ball, just watching him
Yeah,
off
Thompson, the way he moves without the ball.
it's
Thompson,
ridiculous.
and Curry's in town. Curry's in state today.
the ball.
Retiring
For-
Thompson's jersey.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Wazoo. And
Shout out
Curry's-
to Clay getting that jersey
That goes to
retired.
show, like, you know, those guys have a real brotherhood.
Yeah.
You know, that Curry's actually going to the Palouse.
Yeah.
You know,
Man, I like. I mean, obviously we met him at Summer League, and I knew about him prior to
Jeremy
Summer
Lin?
League. Well, Jeremy Lin was cool, but Jordan Clarkson.
Oh, yeah.
You know, obviously being Filipino. You know, shout out to JC. Now he was really cool when we met him. When I chopped it up with him, and then I just like his game. There's
Giannis and
Luka.
Luka.
How could you not love those guys?
Luka and Giannis
and
are probably 2 of my favorites. In the
Trey
league.
Young. Trey Young is legit. Yeah, man.
There's a lot of guys to
The
watch right
NBA is
now.
in a really good place right now. I'm just such a huge fan. I'm happy. I subscribe to League Pass every year. I think me and Charlie have done it for as long as we've been friends.
The Sonics left.
Yeah, as long as we've been friends, you know, it's a long time. We've had League Pass. Yeah, so that, and then kind of tying into that, you know, we'll talk briefly. You know, we've watched the season so far. It's about halfway through the season right now. Your conference finals prediction still the same? Is it still? Because I know
Bucks
I
and
think
Lakers.
Is that you
the
have
conference
the
finals. Conference
finals.
So
Clippers,
West and East.
Clippers, Lakers.
Clippers, Lakers, and then
Bucks and
Sixers
Sixers.
and Bucks and Sixers.
I'm not as sold on the Sixers. I think they're the most disappointing team of the season.
I think so too.
But you never know in a series, they still are tough out.
I would, yeah. But I think those other three are as close
Bucks,
to locks as you
yeah.
can get. Bucks, Lakers, Clippers.
I still think the Rockets have an outside shot to, if someone's slipping, they can get
To
them.
dethrone the Lakers?
Maybe if someone gets injured.
Either one of them.
But I think the Bucks, even at all those three of those teams, like from top to bottom, the Bucks still have the Sixers still have the talent to compete with those teams. They just
But not
for
the
some
shooting.
reason, yeah, for
They're
some
just
reason,
lacking shooting, man. Come on, Elton Brand, man. Call Jamal. Call J.R. Smith, man. Get those guys on the team. Those guys can shoot. Come on, EB. You're a Duke guy. You're smart. Make it happen. Yeah, the Sixers are kind of the one. The Celtics are actually, as much as I hate on them, the Celtics are kind of the
They're
team
legit.
that I can see them overtaking the 76ers.
what about Miami?
Miami's in there too, but I don't like in a playoff series, who's their secondary scorer? You know what I'm saying? Who's
Yeah.
the guy, you know, the defense is focused on Jimmy Butler. If Giannis takes Jimmy Butler out of the game, who's going to step up? Are those young guys going to step up, or are they going to make a deal to get, you know, some help? So I like Miami though, but I would put Boston because I trust those guys. I don't trust Kemba. I trust Tatum because he's been
Tatum's
in-
clutch, but not an NBA per se.
Who's that?
Kemba's clutch.
No,
He's
no,
hit
no,
some big
but
NBA shots.
But in a playoff series,
yeah.
that's kind of what
That's
I'm
where he's
referring
new
to
at.
because he's
Yeah.
only been in, I think, 2 playoff series with the Hornets.
If
So,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, is there anybody outside? I was just going to ask anybody outside of those like top five.
Charlie said the
teams?
Rockets.
And I have more respect now for the Nuggets and the Jazz than I did to start.
I would say
But
for me personally, I would say the Jazz over the Nuggets because I like
Yeah, I was big on the Jazz before the season.
because I think
And then
that-
they've underperformed
Yeah.
initially.
but then you know who they traded for, just won 10 out of 11.
And without Conley's not even there.
He's
They're getting him
coming back today.
Yeah.
Coming back today.
But like Charles Barkley just said, maybe the second best player on the Nuggets is Michael Porter Jr.
And
Once they let the reins off,
Yeah.
you know, he had a big like and one game winner the other night. But it'll be tough to take the Clippers or the Lakers out.
I think the West I think is more set than the East.
I mean, the Clippers have had a lot of guys in and out of the lineup, so they've been more inconsistent.
And plus, you know, with the deadline coming in about 3 weeks, we don't know what moves were made.
3 weeks.
And the buyout season goes until March, the end of February. Or no, guys can get signed after March, but they have to get bought out before
Right.
March 1st.
I was thinking about this though, like the Clippers and Lakers, say that they end up meeting in the playoffs. It's going to basically, the way that normal Clipper-Lakers games
Well-
go, it's all Laker fans. So basically the Clippers going to be up to playing like up to 7 road games. It's going to be
In a
like,
way.
you know, in
Yeah.
a way, as far as
They'll
the
have
crowd
some of their
goes.
season ticket holders, but here's the other thing I was going to say is the Clippers have been, you know, dicking around so much. Those teams might not be able to play in the conference finals.
Yeah.
They might
Might
be
be
like
earlier,
they might be,
yeah.
they could mess around and be a 4 or something.
Yeah.
You know, just because they're like, once we get in, we're fine.
don't think they're
That,
worried
that,
about
and
that.
it, or
Yeah,
their
but
injury,
I'm
their-
just saying, like, they might not be able to play in the conference
Right.
finals.
or either one of those teams is an injury away. Like AD just got hurt. Paul George has been out with the hamstring. AD's back. He's been out like I think the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, the Clippers have been pretty
So, but yeah, AD just got hurt, and you know, interesting to see how they manage LeBron for the second half of the season. You know, I think they're 3 games ahead of everybody else right now.
Vogel's been doing a
From-
pretty good job.
Yeah, no,
There's been no,
he's been
like,
impressive.
you know, reports about him, anything.
You know, like I appreciate you guys taking the time to come out. You know, we bullshit and talk so much about hoop every day, and you know, I'm just gonna throw some rapid fire questions at you guys really quick. Doesn't have to be long answers, even though Charlie turns an answer into a novel. But So just off the top of your head, and I asked all of our guests some of these questions too. So here we go. Who's the toughest player you guys have ever had to guard? Middle school, high school, men's league. All three phases of your career.
Oh, all three phases. I mean, middle school. I mean, I'm just thinking about practice for Seattle style. Like, obviously, I'm not guarding this guy every day, but Ed Roy, Brandon Roy's brother,
yeah.
this guy's a monster. 8th grade. High school, I only guarded him for a couple possessions, but Jamal Crawford's probably the best high school player I've ever seen or played against.
Mo made you switch.
Mo made me switch. Alex did too after he got caught up on that high school highlight tape. And then what was the last one? Men's league?
We played against some guys in the men's league.
Yeah.
We played against some guys.
I had to guard Jamal in the men's league.
Did he play in the men's league?
PBL.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
but you were gone for a long. You didn't play.
I was
PBL.
gone.
You were at school. Yeah.
Man. I mean, Conroy, I think, played in men's league that I played against. Guys like Jensen.
Michael Knight was tough as heck to guard. Played at prep.
From Seattle Prep. He's 04.
Probably right.
A little bit younger.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the guys that come to mind.
Or Chuck.
I mean, middle school, Jimmy Haywood had to guard. He went to my elementary school and my middle school. But guarding Jimmy at like lunchtime, middle school was crazy. High school, I had to guard Nate, times. Let's see. I remember even when he was younger, I remember guarding Lindale Burleson. And he was so fast.
Right.
I think he was a freshman, and I was a senior, and I came off the bench, and he came off the bench, and I was like, this guy, he's the fastest guy on the court.
Right.
But yeah, and I remember playing in a downtown prep and getting switched on Solomon Wyatt, and he was hella good.
Appleby too.
Appleby, and that was more just like tournaments, but Solomon Wyatt from Fox was cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he wasn't my position, but sometimes you get switched on him, and I had nothing for him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a guy that got it reminded me of a tournament we played in high school. We played against Curtis Borchardt.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
6'10".
Yeah. I mean, I got switched on him in the post. And it's like,
And then men's league, I mean, I've been torched by a few guys, but I remember, there was times I had to play. I played against Jamal or, there's a lot of guys I don't even know who they were. Just random cats. That's the beauty of men's league.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody hoops, man.
Right.
I think one of the craziest things about men's league, or the coolest things I should say, is like you could play against somebody like, dude, that guy's good, and then he always has a story like, oh, he played overseas, or he played
exactly.
here. So it's kind of cool to
I think for me, in men's league, one time it was Jamal Miller, and he had like 60 on us. He went through Zeke's legs, but he was just like, it was at Greenwood Boys and Girls Club, and no one could stop him.
Right.
He had the afro and Luda, he had Luda on the jersey. Yeah, he was cold.
Another one is he played with us, your guy's buddy Avery.
Oh,
Avery was tough.
yeah. Guarded Nell Butler in high school.
Yeah.
Was
Darnell.
cold with it.
I mean, I got Nate and Ray in middle school. Those are tough. Those are tough guards. High school. Man, I remember I had to guard before he had the knee injuries from O'Day. My guy Nick Zaylor. That dude was a beast. He was a man amongst boys when we were young. Guarding him, I mean, obviously, playing here, playing shit. Zach Samar was just a monster. Men's league, dang man, I guarded so many different dudes because we're all around the same position, so I guarded a bunch of different dudes. So who's one that really stands out? I don't think I ever played against Jamal. I mean, I had to guard Terry when we played.
Terry Thompson.
I had to guard Terry. That sucked. When Tone had his team and we were on Supreme Cuts, Tone had his other team with like Lamar and them.
Cash Click.
Yeah.
Guarding Lamar Cummings was really hard.
Had to guard Terry. Had to guard. I've guarded Abe in men's leagues. What's the best win you've ever been a part of? Whether it doesn't matter any level, the best win. It could be a men's league. Who cares? Like our men's league is like playing in a real league. You know what I'm saying? men's league, high school, middle school, it doesn't even matter. What's the best win you've ever been a part of?
Even going back to rec league, like I remember like a buzzer beater against Montlake.
That you hit?
No, but the game was so back and forth and the gym was packed. I mean, for a rec league game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Damn.
Lorenzo had the tape of it. I don't know what he did with it, but I mean, this one comes to mind. My old buddy, you remember McGee Webster?
Yeah.
With the buzzer beater.
Well, he could hoop a little bit.
He could play a little bit. We had a couple with Seattle style. We beat CAY a couple of the times we played them. They were always tough though. I'm trying to think of some. High school, we did not have very many wins, so it's like tough to pick. It's tough to pick some out. We had a big one against Seattle Prep at Hale.
You guys beat Prep?
We beat
With
Prep.
Bond?
Yeah. I don't know if Bond was there yet.
He
must have been. Yeah.
Bond was my year.
He must have been.
A year younger than
Yeah, because I would have been. Yeah, because I would have been a sophomore, so he was a freshman. I had a big 4-point play in that game. That stands out. Yeah, you got. I mean,
I think, man, some of the stands for we won the championship together.
bunch.
The three of us, we won that championship.
Oh.
And I think that was 2006. We won the championship.
We won that game by like 35.
the time I shoot.
That was the previous game, but the championship was tough.
Oh.
Because remember we were missing Brandon and Alex.
We picked up.
We had Big
D'Amico was on the team.
That's when Ja was in like super Ja mode and he was killing it. And we had, Bruce, and that stands out to me because it was with you guys, and it was like, it was fun. I mean, me and Charlie won a bunch of championships together. I hit a game winner in a PBL game. Charlie threw me the inbound pass, and I caught it. I hit a three, dagger. That type of shit stands out to me. I played games. Yeah, I played so many games. It just kind of stand out, but
It's tough.
Yeah.
What about some Hoop Fest?
Well, that's what mine was going to
Man,
be.
Hoop
Mine was
Fest.
going to be
I'm.
Nate McMillan 4 on the floor.
Oh yeah.
One of those
Oh,
games.
yeah.
And in a Hoop It Up game with me, Kieran, and BJ Bailey, which was Josh Bailey's brother.
Yep.
And we played this Tacoma 3-on-3 team, same age, and they were like, there was some national champion team, I guess. And I just remember, like, because it sparked my memory when you said it was shoulder to shoulder. And it's just, we were probably 12 or 13, shoulder to shoulder all the way around our court. And people looking over the game was heated. Like their parents were talking crap. And we didn't have any, my dad was the only parent there. And we were just going, and it was a good ass game. And they had 4 guys, we had 3.
Yeah.
There was no subbing out, there was no hiding, and these guys were good, and we beat them. And that was crazy. And then the 4 on the floor against Appleby and Marcus Steele. We just heard the sophomore was ranked in the nation. Appleby was going probably D1. He ended up going to Seattle U.
Appleby?
Or Marcus Steele.
Oh, Marcus Steele, yeah.
Yeah.
Florida. Appleby went to Florida.
Yeah.
Initially,
Well, he was a sophomore at the time.
Oh, okay,
We were
yeah.
seniors. And as anyone knows, Appleby's dad, he was talking a lot of crap. And we were down like 12 or 15, came back and beat him. And then, get off the court. And I thought we were almost going to come to blows. But yeah, that game was shoulder to shoulder. Ed Jones was reffing the game. Green Lake, Ed Jones.
Yeah.
And it was just, that game was intense, man. Crazy. It was me, Ja, Alex, Bruce, PJ.
Damn. Well, everybody, time has come. And that about does it. Actually, last question. In your guys' primes, for now you feel good about yourself. 3-point shootout. 5 spots, 5 shots. Who wins?
He'll
Prime?
probably win.
You think? Dang.
I've won a lot of contests. Like, I remember I won at some camps. I won some people contests. I actually won. I remember we played in the 3-on-3 tournament. That Young Life one that we just posted that picture. of you and
Oh,
your
yeah,
teammate.
yeah.
I won that. I won a 3-on-3. I won a shootout in that
Did you?
tournament. Yeah. And I won one. I did an SPU camp when I was in middle school, and I won that too. And there was a lot of older kids.
So you still take Sano?
Sano had Jimmy though, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some of the contests.
It depends though. Sano, if it's a pass to Sano, he'd probably win. But if he's pulling off the rack, maybe it's different. I don't know. If it's on the pass, he's
I
in
won
there.
a couple of contests. I won the one at the Bob Bender camp.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I won that one, and I won the one at Wazoo, the Cougar Cage Camp.
Oh, wow.
But there was like, we did one like basically every day there,
Oh,
and I
okay.
won one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of like, we don't really
Sano,
have shooting contests.
the millionaire is being modest right now, but he probably was just like, yeah,
It's funny, in our high school, we never did anything cool like that.
No. I was trying to think like all the stuff that we did like that is outside of high school basketball.
We had one assembly where we did like Luke and Lorenzo were doing dunks, but that was it.
That was it, yeah.
Never like a shooting spectacle.
High school was like our dark years.
that's why we didn't even bring this up in the podcast or in the interview. All right, everybody, these are my guys. Charlie, Sano, you've heard the voices, now you can put a face to a name. I appreciate these guys taking the time. Charlie's been kind of off camera, has been kind of giving me shit because he has to get there first for the UW game, get to his seat.
Gotta get away with the dog pack.
But man, I appreciate my guys, man. These guys couldn't find better dudes to do a podcast with, man. Now you guys know about them, know their history, know who they like and dislike. I mean, you can kind of tell, judging off of listening to them, and like, oh, that's the LeBron guy. Oh, this is the anti-LeBron guy. The guy from California is in here. Yeah. So now you know. Now you can kind of distinguish who's who. But yeah, man, I love these guys, man. These are my dudes, and keep looking out for us because we're slowly but surely we're building our brand, and we're gonna continue to keep growing. So I can't thank you guys enough. Shout out to Visualize on the camera, my brother. He does great work. Go follow him. Go follow us subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, like us on Facebook. When we come to you soon, we have a pod. Hopefully, we're gonna do like an all-star reserve pod coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, thank you for watching. Sano, appreciate it.
Go Dogs.
Charlie, appreciate it. Signing off. Appreciate you guys.